So my 10th appearance this year, I'm very proud of that, and it's been a great team to be a part of for such a long time.
I'm really looking forward to getting back out on the lanes this year. I had a really good time last year. The atmosphere, the environment is really something that I feel comfortable being in, and I'm really excited to put the pounding on Europe this year, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, their team's pretty strong, I'd say. They have a lot of different personalities, which is, I think, one of the things that we have as well. We have a lot of different personalities between Jesper, Martin, Stu, and myself. So I think, yeah, there's two very strong teams.
We're definitely gonna have to bring our A game this year. They have just as much talent as we do on the team, and we know their team chemistry, BFFs. So we've got to bring our A games and our team chemistry as well.
So it comes down to singles competition now. We will have doubles later on in the weekend, but right now it's the skipper who's put himself first in the firing line up against the unmistakable Kyle Troupe, one of two returners from last year's beaten American team, and the only man, incidentally, out of the 8 that are here as Barrett just prepares himself. He's the only man that's not in the current world ranked top 10, and the reason for that is he tends not to travel outside the United States very much. Makes an exception for the Weber Cup, but certainly in terms of ability, you are looking at a top 10 player, more like a top 5 player, and when he's on his game, as he looks to be this evening, he can be unplayable.
Certainly taken advantage of the lane condition, which he seems to like. It's the long 44-foot pattern, but it gets great rotation on that bowling ball, right back into the 1-3 pocket, carries 10. He got 3 strikes in the Baker game, and he started with another one now, so he's perfect so far.
Well, this is where you just need to keep a cool head, because they're under pressure early here, and that is the worst possible start you could have. So yeah, this is not a good start at all.
Ball was certainly snapped up at the back end there, Nick, and it's left on with the 4 and the 10 pin, which is a split. Could well be an open. Let's have a look here. It's a little bit wide and it's finished so hard. Could be an open frame, unfortunately, and it is, and that's worth 8 pins only.
And you can see what he was trying to do there. He had to just do a very fine chip of that 4 pin to knock it over to take out the 10. Just missing fractionally. Well, the only good thing that you can say about an open frame is if you're going to have one, get it out the way early. You've got a chance to recover and regroup. But my question already, even this early in this match, is he going to have a chance to come back? Because this man has been a strike monster so far.
Oh dear, look at that.
Well, he gets so much pin action. There we go. He's happy. There's so much rotation on that ball, creates so much pin action.
He's super happy. Crikey, yes, he got the head pin to bounce right across the lane, right through the pin deck, and carry out that 10 pin. There it goes, that's the messenger. And another 30 pins. And there's the Afro combs. Oh no, it's actually the Stars and Stripes. I didn't think he had those this year.
Well, Barrett's back online, as he needs to be. Just got to sit and tuck in behind Troupe at the moment, not allow this gap to grow any wider. Just wait for Troupe to either make a mistake or get a bit of bad luck, and luck does play a part in this game.
Good looking shot from Dom there, just a fraction late on the 10 pin, but it went, so he scores 30. Chance for Carl to improve and extend his lead. The man puts 2 fingers in the ball but no thumb. A two-handed man with lots of rotation.
Now,
crikey,
this time there was no messenger.
That's right, yeah. Just a little bit of deflection off that head pin, so it was a fraction light, which sent the 6 pin to the side rather than straight back into the 10. So we call it a flat 10.
He didn't like it.
No, he didn't like it. He was expecting a strike, but hopefully he's going to make a spare here. Hard and straight.
And not in doubt.
Takes away the spare and makes 19 pins.
Still has the lead here because of the open frame from this man, but Colchester's Don Barrett will be relieved to see that he is human after all, Kyle Troupe. Now he needs to keep the pressure on here with another strike. That'll do it.
Looks pretty good to me. 2 lined up shots, 2 strikes. This is the second match, obviously, that's been played on this lane condition. The lane will be redressed after 3 games, so there may be some variation that the bowlers will have to look at, some transition of the oil which moves around, not only under these television lights, but with these bowling balls, especially the reactive resin balls. They absolutely drink up that oil.
Troupe looking to get back to what he does best, and there was no doubt about that. So Troupe keeps his slender lead here.
Yes, you can see the score graphics on the left-hand side of the screen, the current state of the game, plus the maximum scores that each player can make. So if they all strike out, Kyle will win by 11 pins.
So with every strike, just a little bit more pressure on the next bowler up. All these players, of course, have bowled in literally hundreds of pressure situations all around the world. So they'll be used to this. What's Barrett's response? Ooh, just drifted away again and has left a couple standing. Now spares, as we've seen already, are not going to win too many points for the Europeans. Let's see what happened here. And again, he's just flush on the head pin.
Pretty fortunate to break up the split. He's left the 4 and the 7, which is a straightforward spare, but there was a pin on the right hand side which was hanging around for a little bit. Takes away the spare.
That's a couple of times that he's lost his line and failed to hit the pocket. What do you think's going on there, Cass?
Well, I mean, that ball slightly overreacted. Now it may well be that the oil has moved around, and on Dom's track it's worn a groove that he's hitting, and he's getting too much reaction, but he may just have to make a slight adjustment or possibly pick his speed up. But at the moment, Kyle Troupe, who averaged 250 a game last year on this lane, is very much in front.
He's found the pocket. He is consistently finding the pocket. Even when he left the 10 standing, it was a pocket hit.
Yeah, another great looking shot from the two-hander. He's only got 2 PBA titles in the United States, so he's still learning his game, but doing very well.
And one of those was a doubles competition as well, which he won this year with, I think it was Jesper Svensson, as Stu Williams and Martin Larsson look on. Svensson is due up next. He'll be hoping that he's not trying to pull back a 2-0 deficit, but that's what the Europeans are staring at the moment. Barrett with a strike to just keep hopes flickering here.
Just gave it a fraction more room and kept that speed up. It's the, as I say, it's the accuracy and the repeatability that these guys have to do, and once they're locked and loaded on that pocket, they just try and stay there for as long as they can, but as long as the lane allows them to do that.
Well, Troupe certainly hasn't had to make any adjustments thus far. That's a distinctive style of his. There's another all 10 gone.
Yeah, great looking shot from the camera in the pit area there. See how the pins set up that chain reaction. And that's a perfect shot. He's hit the down lane marker, it turns up into the pocket and carries all 10.
Not much Barrett can do about this, and it's not like Dom's bowling badly. I mean, you're looking at a man who's on pace for a 260 plus score here, and that's just not going to be good enough on current form. That was a bit unlucky. Sometimes you deserve what you get, sometimes you're just a bit out of luck, and on another day that 10 pin would have been cleared out, but not today.
Yeah, rings the 10 pin in the corner. It's a solid hit in the pocket. It'd just be a fraction light, and that 6 pin goes and lays in the gutter. That'll be a spare, so that's only another 19. We're looking at 34 pins adrift here.
Yeah, and if this is a strike, I think this is another point for the Europeans, because that's a big deficit to overhaul with frames running out. So Troupe will look to really put this on ice right here.
Well, unless Don Barrett starts striking, Carl Troupe could even afford a couple of 9 spares and still coast this game.
Boy, he gets that ball to do so much work. And the net result is pure devastation at the back end.
Yeah, keeping the ball nice and straight down the lane. Straighter is greater. Great reaction in the back end of the last
It's the revs
16
as well.
feet. Yeah, there's lots of risk because he's the two-hander, you see. Puts so much rotation on the ball and it hits that pocket and those pins just go, don't they?
Pressure's off here for Barrett and it's gone completely now.
Yeah, change of line there. Don move left. I think he's accepted the fact that this game is over. He may well have changed balls, but he's certainly changed the line. He moved his feet left on the approach, tried to throw it a little bit wider, get a bit more feedback from the lane, but unfortunately, it's only 7 pins.
Well, it was interesting listening to Tony Wright and Guy Kaminsky down on the floor earlier, and they were just saying, well, the Americans have come out meaning business. We certainly won't be looking at a 6-1 scoreline here, which is what we had on the Friday evening last year. Let me beg to differ. We may be seeing a 6-1 scoreline here the way these Americans are bowling, but the other way around.
Nick, you're getting too excited too early.
Well, let's see. There is a real sense of purpose and cold-eyed determination about these Americans. Well, he leaves a 7, but he can leave a 7-10 split and still win this point.
Yeah, as I say, you could afford now to have some spares. I think Dom has just wandered off to pick up another bowling ball, which he will use as an experiment in the last couple of shots that he's got.
Which is a good point you make, because nothing is a wasted ball here, and when they take a spare ball out, it's a different ball as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. So another 19 for Carl Troupe in the USA.
The spare tends to just be a much straighter line. As I say, nothing wasted, and Barrett will have a look at another ball from his arsenal. I think Dom is on record as saying he's brought 8 balls with him. I think most players have got around that number. And if it wasn't working with one, try something different, and maybe you'll find something that'll work later on in the competition.
Yeah, a good tactical move there by getting another ball out. It certainly did work. And from what I understand, yes, you're quite right. I think Dom did say that he's bought 8 bowling balls, newly drilled up bowling balls to the tournament. I asked him if anybody else had bought more, and he kind of hinted that Stuart Williams may have made double figures, but we can't confirm that.
I don't think this man's going to be making a ball change anytime soon.
He's becoming a bit of a machine, isn't he? He's only missed twice in this game. He didn't miss at all in the Baker game. He's having an absolute strike fest.
And he's carrying on where we saw all the Americans in the Baker game. I'm going to throw it out there for the guys downstairs to talk about. Could we be seeing a 6-1 session the other way tonight? The way these Americans have come out flying off the blocks, it's been very impressive indeed. And I tell you, this is starting to load up the pressure already on Jesper Svensson, who's due up next against EJ Tackett.
Yes, it'll be the two really high rollers. Tackett, who's won about everything in the last 2 years, and Svensson, who's probably in the top 4 in the world at the moment.
Well, Kyle Troupe signs off with another strike and a message, and that message is: we mean business this year. We have had enough of losing Weber Cups.
Massive game, absolutely massive game from Troupe. Bomb just finishes with a strike, and it's a 232, 278 victory for the American.
But it's not shabby, 232, but anything under anything under 260 is probably just not going to do anything. The way this one's going, this is very, very ominous already. if you're a fan of Team Europe, the Americans are off to a flyer here. Troupe has downed Barrett. It's a 2-0 lead for the Americans.